What's going on, guys? blinkFRO here, and today I'm bringing the Seattle Seahawks preseason video, and this is just a couple trades to begin with. We traded away Tavares Jackson for a third and a fourth and a guy we cut. We traded LaShore and Norwood for a fourth and two guys we're going to cut. We just need to cut down some of our roster because we need to get rid of some of the salary, and I decided to trade away Braylon Edwards to the Jaguars for a third and a fourth and a guy we're going to cut. Which brings us to our first cut week, preseason week 1. I'm not going to be playing any preseason games. I usually simulate them because it's a waste of time in my opinion. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and cut our two fullbacks because who needs fullbacks anyways? You really only need one on the roster. And then we're going to cut our two worst wide receivers because we didn't need them either. Which then this will bring us to cut day number 2, cut week number 2 I should say. The first and second week are always easy. As you're going to see, we're going to cut this Reeves guy, this wide receiver who has F potential, who pretty much sucks. And I was thinking about getting rid of the Mail, I don't even know how to say his name. And the reason weeks 1 and 2 is easy, because you always have players that you know suck on your team, so you can easily cut them. And you're going to see when I get to week 3, I just have a horrible time, and we're going to go ahead and cut these two defensive tackles. Since we have 3 really good defensive tackles, and you really only need 3 defensive tackles on a team. And then the last player we're going to go ahead and cut, I believe, is a cornerback all the way on the bottom with deep potential, 51 overall, because he's not a rookie. So that made it pretty easy for us. And then we're going to go ahead and trade away Austin Collie for a fourth and a fifth to the Browns, and a quarterback we're going to cut because I had way too many wide receivers on the team. So this brings us to cut week number 3. So first we're going to start off with that crappy quarterback. And now this is the hard part, because everyone has, you don't know what their actual overall is because it has that question mark, and it's really annoying. And you're going to see I cut that wide receiver. But yeah, I'm like, is this guy really an 84 overall? I doubt it, but who knows if he's going to wind up being like a 70. So that's what makes it hard, and then I forgot. I was like, oh, they usually put a punter and a kicker on the team. So that was easy, 2 cuts easily. So we just need 4 more. And then I had this brilliant idea. I was like, hey, since I don't know what their overall is, if I didn't draft them, they probably suck, because the game throws players that were undrafted on your team, and they usually suck. So I went ahead and cut 4 undrafted players from my team, which made it really easy for me. It was the 2 safeties, and I believe both of these cornerbacks were undrafted, so I'm going to cut both of them. So we're just getting rid of the players we don't need on our team. Yeah, as you're going to see, both of these guys were undrafted. So it's like, alright, that's cool. That was easy. Now it's bringing it to week 4. The final week of the preseason. And we need 4 more cuts, which week 4 is easy because you unlock their full overall. That tight end wasn't 86. He was actually a 66, which is fine. And we're going to go ahead and cut this 45 overall F potential left tackle. The left guard we're going to cut. The center we're going to cut. And then I believe we're going to cut this right tackle here. And then I was like, alright, I bet there's a bunch of guys that suck on my team. So we're going to go ahead and sign a few more players so we can cut some bad ones. So we're going to sign a backup center since we don't have one. And then we're going to go ahead and sign a left outside linebacker because our backup sucked. This guy's pretty fast, Buchanan. And then I'm going to go ahead and re-sign Leon Washington for really, really cheap because why do I always forget to, yes, that's LMFAO. I'm in Miami. I always forget to, wow. I don't, alright, that just threw me off. Okay, anyways. No, what was I going to say? Okay, it doesn't even matter. So we're cutting more guys on our team. That completely threw me off. We're going to get rid of some linebackers because they all suck, as you can see. And then I was like, hey, we have another linebacker that sucks. And someone was upset that I cut Ricardo Lockett, or actually traded him before year 1, so I went ahead and re-signed him because I know someone was like, oh, you should sign him. And then I saw Bob Sanders when I was scrolling through Hit Power, and I was like, Bob Sanders not on a team? I'm going to take him. I can use him as a backup. I know he's injury prone, but as a backup, and he plays a lot. The backup safeties usually play a lot on the Seattle Seahawks defensive scheme. So I went ahead and got Bob Sanders, and we're just going to go ahead and cut 2 more guys from our team. That guy was easy. And then I didn't know who to cut after that. I believe I actually cut this left end here, 67 overall. But I scrolled through the rest of the team just to make sure everything is good. As you can see, kind of my depth chart. I'm going to show it again later at the end of the video. Don't know if I'm going to be talking over it because at the end I showed my depth chart and then like the quarterbacks for every team. Because I didn't want to go through every single roster because that would or every single team's roster because that would take forever. But we do cut that left end, and then there's a few things we just need to get done. We're gonna change John Carlson to number 88, which will then free Doug Baldwin's number 89 up. That's probably the number he's going to be wearing this season, because that's what he wore in college. And we're going to change Lockett back to number 83, because I believe that's what number he's on the Seahawks, which then will allow us to make Matt Flynn number 15, because I believe that's what he's wearing this year. So now we're going to name the team captains. We got Marshawn Lynch, and by popular demand, we're going to go ahead and scroll through. I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm going to pick for our last team captain. Yes, John Moffitt, the team captain, 75 overall. Haters gonna hate. Team captain John Moffitt. And then looking for the last one, I wanted a defensive player, and it came down between Hawthorne, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor, and we're gonna make Earl Thomas the last team captain. I kind of wanted to make a special teams guy, but it's all right. So now we're going to advance the regular season, and yes, we're going to import a draft class. We're going to take my year 2 draft class, which has Robert Griffin in it. Robert Griffin wasn't in year 1. He didn't declare to go pro in the first year in NCAA. And our first game is up against the New York Jets, which should be a good challenge. And our game 2 is against the Patriots. I played both of them already, and I'm liking the sliders I got so far, which I'm also going to show at the end. As you're going to see, there's Robert Griffin. Running's just a little difficult with these improved sliders. And then this is the part where I forgot to show you guys at the end of the year. Marshawn Lynch won running back of the year for the NFL. Earl Thomas won defensive back of the year in the NFL. And then we're going to go ahead and find the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. I forgot to do defensive rookie of the year. I apologize for that. If you guys really want it, I can find it, and I'll probably be in like the week 3 video. And then you got Matt Ryan, who took like everything: offensive player of the year, quarterback of the year, and most valuable player of the year for the NFL. I don't know how he did it, but he took almost all of the awards, offensive awards, which was pretty insane. And then wide receiver of the year is Larry Fitzgerald. I think that's the last one I show you guys because I forgot to do the defensive player, and I don't think you guys cared about the offensive lineman. But here we're going to change the human sliders, and I was thinking about putting wide receiver catching up because we dropped a lot of balls, but then I was like, no, that's kind of cheap, so I'm going to put it back down to 40. And then rushing, I put down run blocking down to 35. The ones that I have currently is Mr. Hurricane sliders, and this is me tweaking it. I thought running was too easy with Marshawn Lynch if we got over 2,000 yards rushing. And then I believe I put our pass rushing down to 35 because we had a lot of sacks on the season. Actually, a pretty decent amount. It wasn't outstanding, but we sacked the quarterback a lot. So I thought that was pretty fair for the human sliders. And then we're going to go ahead on the computer side. And as you guys know, the computer is so inaccurate, so I'm going to bump that 20 all the way up to a 30. Hopefully make the accuracy a little bit better. I might improve it even more. And then for some reason I bumped down wide receiver catching to 35. I couldn't remember if they dropped a lot of balls or not. I might change that. I have to re-look over my week 1 and week 2 video because I don't remember how often they dropped the ball. I might need to go back up to 40. And I guess this is still on all Madden because the only thing that really counts for all Madden is the human sliders, which I made pretty poor. I made them worse than what they were. And here's the depth chart. We got Matt Flynn, Terrell Pryor, and Kellen Moore. And I really don't feel like I need to talk over all of this because you guys can just see it for what it is. I have Chad Ochocinco as the 5th wide receiver. I'm starting Justin Blackmon over him, which Sidney Rice gets injured Sidney Rice gets injured all the time, so he might as well be the 3rd wide receiver. Justin Blackmon, that is. And Chad Ochocinco, I forgot to change his last name. I changed his last name in the 3rd week because if you guys know, I don't know if it's going to show on his jersey this year, but he changed his name back to Chad Johnson because he got married or is getting married, and his wife didn't want the last name Ochocinco. So he is back to Chad Johnson. So I changed his name back to Chad Johnson in week 3. So week 1 and 2, you're still going to see Ochocinco. And then here's just the rest of my team. Bob Sanders, I should say, the backup strong safety. There's kicker and punter, and the reason I signed Liam Washington was because it was LaMichael James, right? Yeah, LaMichael James and Justin Blackmon were the 2 returners, and I was like, I want someone better than that, so I got Liam Washington, and he has like a player trait that allows him, it like improves the special teams, so I was like, alright, that's pretty cool. And then this is me just scrolling through all the quarterbacks on each team. I was going to do the running backs and wide receivers, but then I realized that would take like 30 years. The one thing you're going to notice is the Jets signed Jason Campbell, and he starts over Mark Sanchez. I traded Tavares Jackson to the Cardinals, but he doesn't start over Kevin Cobb. And I think the last thing is the Vikings have Andrew Luck, and they start him. Other than that, I believe everything is just about the same. I don't think there were any drastic changes, but you're going to see it as I scroll through anyways. I'm going to stop talking now, so that's going to wrap up this video from me. And as always, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.